A new report has revealed that the Pentagon spent tens of millions of dollars researching the existence of UFOs. A New York Times article says a $22 million program called Advanced Aviation Threat Identification started in 2007. It was championed by a Democratic senator from Nevada with an interest in UFOs. The secret program ended in 2012. James Oberg is a former NASA space shuttle engineer and the author of 10 books on spaceflight. Thank you very much for taking the time, Mr. Oberg.
Hello, Scott.
What do you make of, these are, for a lot of people, these are the magic words, U.S. government secret UFO program?
Well, that's why we hear those words in the media, but the report is on airborne threats, and threats come in all flavors, whether it's equipment problems or procedural errors, criminals, hackers, or real enemies, or even space aliens. And so anything you see out there, whether it's in the air or, in my experience in mission control, in space, you want to track it down.
James, had you ever heard of this program in the past?
I haven't, but I know that there's people interested and always should be. In fact, there's another tremendously important reason to pay attention to the reports. You can't study UFOs because you don't have any, but you can study UFO reports. Turns out that among the UFO reports, and one of the causes, can't say all of them, one of the causes are misperceptions by startled viewers, especially in Russia and around the Russian border, of secret missile and space activities. I've done some research on that now that I'm retired and working as a historian of spaceflight. Found out rocket tests, satellite explosions have been seen, misperceived, reported, and are on file in all the world's UFO bibliographies as aliens when, in fact, they were just locals. They were Russians doing these activities, and people were just misinterpreting and wildly exaggerating what they're seeing. The key is, though, Scott, that when you study these reports, you get some information about how the rockets were working or not working, or the spacecraft is important intelligence data for U.S. agencies, but only as long as the Russians don't catch on that we're reading their UFO books.
Now, James, the secret program captured video from a Hornet showing some kind of aircraft. What are your thoughts on that video and what we may be looking at?
That's a premature question because we've just seen partial videos of it. We haven't seen the backup support. It's really important to get those kind of videos out to the world beyond the closed circle of any kind of potential groupthink organization, because crowdsourcing, as we know, is one of the great problem-solving or puzzle-solving techniques on the Internet. The example of this report is that, to me, it reminds me of the one about a year ago that Leslie came out with, championing a great report from Chile, from a military helicopter, unsolved by a top-level panel of experts. Turned out, as soon as the information was published, experts around the world quickly determined that it was a commercial airliner just farther away than these supposedly top-flight investigators assumed it was. So the last time that we came up with a big video airborne video from Ms. Keene, it was a real egg on her face very quickly.
Very interesting report that is out. James Oberg, former NASA space shuttle engineer, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Scott. I'm sure we'll be back on this subject again.
No doubt about that.